to the US Congress, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu likened the October 7 Hamas's invasion to the 9/11 Al-Qaeda attacks, calling them days that will forever live in infamy.
20 9/11s in one day. And these monsters, they raped women, they beheaded men, they burnt babies alive.
After President Joe Biden quit the race to White House, PM Netanyahu made an attempt to win over the US amid the ongoing war with Hamas.
For all we know, Iran is funding the anti-Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building. Not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well, I have a message for these protesters. When the tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
However, Netanyahu's address was not without controversy, as 30 Democratic leaders boycotted the speech in protest of Israel's military action and policies, while potential Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris gave it a miss. However, her absence was heavily criticized by the Israeli authorities, alleging that Harris was unable to distinguish between good and evil. It also stated that it was not a way to treat an ally. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump also criticized Harris for missing PM Netanyahu's speech to the US Congress, making a daring plea to Jewish Americans to abandon the Democratic Party.
She refuses to be there. Even if you're against Israel or you're against the Jewish people, show up and listen to the concept. But she's totally against the Jewish people. And it amazes me how Jewish people will vote for the Democrats when they're being treated so disrespectfully and badly. It amazes me.
Despite the fact Netanyahu fervently pleaded for support from the US against Hamas terrorism, highlighting the gravity of the situation. He emphasized the psychological impact that seizure of hostages causes to families and promised to work tirelessly to secure their release. It is to be noted that Netanyahu and Harris are expected to meet separately on Thursday, where the talks will focus on resolving the humanitarian situation affecting Palestinian civilians, guaranteeing Israel's security, and ending the war with Gaza. According to Vice President's aide, Harris will stress the necessity of a ceasefire deal that protects Israel, frees all captives, and puts an end to the misery in Gaza, while also upholding the rights of the Palestinian people to freedom, dignity, and self-determination. Meanwhile, in a noteworthy exchange, Netanyahu thanked President Joe Biden for his support and mentioned former President Donald Trump's aid to Israel, laying the groundwork for their forthcoming Friday discussions. Meanwhile, Tesla CEO Elon Musk unintentionally showed up to PM Netanyahu's speech to Congress in Washington, sitting along with Netanyahu's wife Sarah, a number of Israeli soldiers, and at least one former Hamas hostage. As the presidential election approaches, Netanyahu's visit, arranged by Republican lawmakers, signified a renewed emphasis on US-Israel relations amid concerns that the US foreign policy in the Middle East might change going forward.